Courier sniping is the act of killing the enemy courier at any given point in the game. This video is going to focus on sniping the walking courier before the 3-minute mark. Depending on your MMR, you might have a much longer period of time with the walking courier, but I'm going to focus on 3 minutes, and you can apply it to the rest of the game as needed. First, I have an amazing infographic about the courier. The courier has 350 move speed and 75 HP. You also get 175 reliable gold for each team member when you kill the courier. That's a total of 875 gold. Note that if there are 2 couriers in a game, for tactical or feeding reasons, only the killer gets 175 gold. Any item on the courier also becomes inaccessible until the courier respawns. This means a crucial item can be taken out of the game for about 2 minutes. Next, you have to actually be able to kill the courier. At level 1, most heroes cannot kill it in a single hit. And because it has 350 move speed, it can outrun you before you can get the second hit. If you have an Orb of Venom, it will have 336 move speed if you're ranged, and 308 if you're melee. It's very important not to stand still and simply hit the courier, particularly for melee heroes. Ideally, you hit it from the front, move in the same direction, and then hit it again. If you start from the front, this gives you the most time near the courier. If your first hit is from behind the courier, there's a good chance that you won't be able to catch it. Even from a side angle, it can depend on your hero whether you're able to get the second hit or not. Most players won't react fast enough to move the courier after the first hit, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. I'm going to focus on Bounty Hunter, Riki, Treant Protector, and Monkey King in this video. These 4 roamers have the easiest time sniping couriers because of their invisibility. Monkey King doesn't have invisibility, but between his Mischief and Tree Dance, he can do just about the same thing, if not better. On the Radiant side, you can only stand here between the T1 and T2 towers. The Dire has the same spot between the T1 and T2 towers. However, it also has an opening between the T2 and T3 towers. Treant Protector can only use this first spot because of how the trees are positioned, but the other 3 can use either one thanks to their skill set. In my experience, this second position will give them less chance to move the courier to the side, but it gives you less time to react because you can't see up the high ground. The first position will give you more time to see the courier coming and position yourself, but you might miss it if they move it to the side. It's not a huge difference, so either side is fine to be in. Now usually, you don't know where the enemy courier is at any given time, and that's why it's hard to kill the courier. However, there are 2 times when you have a very good chance of knowing where the courier will appear. Scenario 1, the mid laner calls the courier immediately after taking the bounty rune, probably calling in a salve. This is more likely at higher MMRs, but I couldn't really say how likely this will be at any given level. For the Radiant, this courier will arrive around 18 seconds on the way there, and 28 seconds on the way back. For the Dire, it'll be at the second spot at 13 seconds on the way out, and 38 seconds on the way back. For the first spot, it will be about 21 seconds, and then 31 seconds. All of these times are estimates, so give or take 3 seconds. Now there's actually a second part to Scenario 1 that's rarely used in pubs. The walking courier respawns in 2 minutes. The mid laner is going to call the courier again right away, especially if you denied their items the first time. This gives you a very good chance of knowing when and where the courier is going to be to get the second kill. Killing it again is pretty big, not just in terms of gold, but the mid lane should almost be won for your team. It's not uncommon for the mid laner to have all their items on the courier. First it had their salve, but you killed that. Now it could have their bottle, and the salve. If you kill it again, you've got a 0-minute item mid laner at 5 minutes. Scenario 2 is if you didn't kill the courier at the start. It's essentially the same as the second half of Scenario 1, but a little bit sooner on the timing. You can estimate this timing further based on a few things. The enemy's starting items, so you know how much gold they had left over. The bounty rune gives 100 gold. You passively get 90 gold a minute. And there's about 190 gold per wave if you get every last hit. Ask your mid laner how well the enemy is farming to get an idea. The most common item to get is a bottle, and that will take about 2 minutes to get enough gold if you only miss a few CS. This will be about 13 last hits in 2 minutes. A smaller item like boots, null talisman, or a magic wand will usually be bought before the 2-minute mark. This will take about 5 to 8 last hits in 1 minute and 30 seconds. I'll save you from doing math and tell you the easy way to apply this. If you killed the courier earlier, just come 2 minutes after whatever time you killed it at. So if you killed at 20 seconds, just show up again at 2 minutes and 20 seconds and wait around. If you didn't kill the courier before, and you think it'll be a smaller item, show up at about 1 minute and 30 seconds and wait around. If nothing shows up, just go get the bounty rune at 2 minutes. If you think it's a bottle, get the rune at 2 minutes and then show up and wait. So how long I wait there depends on that particular game. But a general rule is that if you don't see the courier by 2 minutes and 50 seconds, just go and do something else. If they haven't brought an item out by that point, they're either waiting for the flying courier, which you probably can't kill, or they're farming so poorly that you really have no idea when they're going to buy something, and standing there is going to waste your time. I would only consider waiting past this time if you killed the courier at the start. If the enemy mid laner ever dies or goes back, it's probably not worth it to go for a courier snipe. If they bought an item, they're just going to pick it up in the fountain while they're dead, and the courier won't come out. If they didn't buy anything, they've now lost more gold, and their timing has been slowed down, which means if the courier comes out, it's probably after 3 minutes, and your chances aren't very good after that. Conversely, if they get a kill and don't back, I would head there immediately. They're probably going to buy an item with that kill gold. Now, these 4 heroes are known for going for courier snipes, so the enemy team might be cautious. They might bring the courier out on a different path. They might send it back along that same way, but many people get lazy and let it just walk back down the middle. Sometimes, they won't use it unless they can see you or if it's a flying courier, and there's nothing you can really do about that. For the Radiant, you can position yourself southeast of the T2 tower. This will give you vision of the courier leaving the base. If it comes down the side, you can just kill it. If it goes down the middle, you can kill it on the way back. This side path is fairly common, but every other path is kind of complicated, so I wouldn't really worry about it. So originally, I had this long drawn out explanation of all these other routes you could take, but as I was editing it, I realized that that's way too complex, and this is Courier Sniping 101, so fuck all of that, and they're gonna walk the courier straight down the middle lane and just kill it. Yeah. Alright, next time will be smokes and non-invis heroes, and that'll be good.